They laughed at his body, but they never saw his pain. That night, Ryan Carter decided the jokes would end forever. Every scroll on social media felt like an attack. Perfect bodies everywhere, except in his mirror. Life felt heavier than his own weight. At gatherings, he smiled to hide the shame. Inside, he felt smaller than everyone in the room. His favorite jeans refused to close, and that zipper failure broke something inside him. He stared at his reflection in silence. For the first time, he was tired of blaming the world. No more excuses, he whispered to himself, and that whisper became a war cry. At 2 a.m., he searched for change, because pain had finally defeated comfort. Standing outside the gym, fear shook him, but regret scared him more. The treadmill exposed his weakness, but it also introduced him to discipline. His arms trembled during push-ups, yet quitting trembled even more. The weights were light for others, but for him, they were the beginning of strength. He left the gym exhausted and sore, but for the first time, proud. The 5 a.m. alarm felt cruel, but dreams demand sacrifice. Cold Chicago mornings burned his lungs. Still, he ran toward a better version of himself. He changed his food, plate by plate, because transformation begins in small choices. Temptation called his name daily, but discipline answered louder. Weeks passed, sweat poured, doubts attacked, but he showed up anyway. One day, the mirror showed a small difference. Hope quietly replaced insecurity. The scale moved slowly, but his mindset moved mountains. His shirt fit better than before. Confidence started fitting too. The weights that once defeated him now bowed to his consistency. He no longer avoided mirrors. He respected the man staring back. Running became easier, because he was no longer running from himself. Every drop of sweat carried pain away and built strength in return. That final rep burned his muscles, but it built his character. He wasn't training to impress people. He was fighting his old self. He looked at an old photo of himself and barely recognized that broken version. The reflection now showed progress, but the real change was invisible. He smiled after workouts, because he had conquered another day. Discipline became his daily habit. Consistency became his identity. People began noticing the transformation, but they never saw the lonely battles. For the first time, he felt comfortable in public, not because of looks, but because of effort. He walked with his head high. No more hiding in oversized clothes. Stairs no longer defeated him. They reminded him of how far he'd climbed. His posture changed, and so did his entire presence. The scale confirmed the weight loss, but the real victory was self-respect. Muscles started shaping his body. Discipline had sculpted his life. He looked into the camera without shame. Confidence now lived in his eyes. Under the city lights, he ran freely, like chains had been broken. The old Ryan slowly faded away. The new Ryan stood fearless. He wrote bigger goals in his notebook, because growth has no finish line. He encouraged another beginner at the gym. Pain had turned into purpose. The hardest workout tested his limits, and he destroyed them. He smiled at his reflection proudly. Not perfect, but powerful. Under the spotlight, his silhouette told a story of sweat, pain, and courage. Standing on a rooftop at sunset, he realized he rebuilt more than muscle. Peace replaced insecurity. Strength replaced doubt. He remembered the boy who was mocked and thanked him for not giving up. They once laughed at his body. Now they admire his discipline. but only he knows the war he won.